Okay, we're live, so we'll wait for some people to come on, and I'll talk and explain what I'm doing. Right now, okay. It's going to be a 5x7. That's the layer paper, synthetic paper. And like I said, I'll wait just a little bit. Let's get this to be a little more. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to wait a little bit for some people to come on. Okay. All right, guys, just another couple minutes and we'll start talking about the project. All right, we got some people here. Hey, Patty. And we got Michael, Cookie, and Pugs. Hello there, Pugs. I can see a little tiny picture of it. Okay. Okay. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Patty and Michael. And there must be a lot of people that are not commenting. That's about 13. It's 13 peeps that are on here. All right, so that's good. We're gonna get going now. I am gonna talk a little bit about color, basic color. Everybody knows I always talk about advanced color, such as mixing colors that are exact matches, which I want to just make sure the beginners understand. I'm talking about beginners, guys. I'm just getting rid of that ugly dark spot there. Okay. So we'll just do that. Do that. I'm wasting tape, but just don't like it. Okay, so that was from the last project, which was the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm working, there's no drawing prepped on here. Okay, so we're going to take, this is the size we're going to work with, 5x7. And it's got some nice little details going on in there. But if you notice, there's pretty much only a certain amount of colors. You know, like that red over there is deeper than that red. But this, I guess, I'm going to call it cloud formations from this, probably the explosion of the volcano, causing this red to deepen but the brown is probably actually doing that to it. A lot of light coming off here on the right side, and the mountain is pretty silhouetted. But when I looked at it on the computer, I was able to see a little more detail in there. So we'll get to that part next week probably. But right now we're going to focus on working from light to dark. The lightest color, the next color, the next color, and so on. All right, so right now, and if you really look at the details in here, the peak of the volcano, there's a lot of little cool little textures, and of course a little stringy. It looks like Parmesan cheese when it hangs off here. It looks stringy to me, like that's later though. But okay, so we're going to use the little reference picture. I'll keep the big one off to the side. I do even have a large, in case I ever want to paint it. I was thinking about it, doing, I think it's an 8 by 10. Okay, so sorry for all the reflection, but that is my color correct lighting. That's a nice size to work with. Obviously, you guys can see the details more. Right in there by the tip. Some cool things going on. Okay, so I want to just, for the sake of, we have the Createx colors, for the sake of people that are painting, coming on here maybe brand new, and they don't really understand color at all, to the point where they might just take the bottle of paint and start spraying whatever's in the paint. Just a little quick basic thing to talk about here, and I'll move on quickly. Okay, so you have your color wheel, okay? And I'm only going to mention, this is actually a package, and there's a whole book in here about colors. And I think probably has the compass on the back. There we go. All right, so that would probably be, hold on a minute, because I don't use this. I use more advanced, color wheel that has to do with making target colors, which that would be recommended to get the Drew Blair color theory in a box. But just know this, that there's 3 primaries. Everybody knows you got to buy these colors, red, yellow, blue. From those you can make secondaries, orange, and then you can get into your green and purple. Okay, so they're right under there, just to show you that. Okay, so just having a little understanding that if you want to gray a color, say blue, you're going to put the opposite in it. Just very simple. And you got your wheel, which would be, that's not a very nice wheel. I'll just go to the cover here for a minute. So you just got your basic wheel. So obviously, let's take the blue we were talking about. This isn't even correct. Here we go. So if you want to gray down your orange and get it from the bottle color, which is too bright, too saturated, right out of the bottle, that's not the color on the painting, then you have to start putting the opposite color in, and it will start to gray that color down a little bit. So go online, read about color, get a little bit of basics down so that you at least can mix some colors. Obviously, white lightens a color, and you can deepen colors with color and with black and whatever, the actual color calls for. But matching colors dead on, that's a whole nother animal. That's something I'm not teaching here. That would be what I just said, the Blair School of Realism. color theory in a box. If you want to really, really advance quickly, even if you just take that course, you can own it. You know, you can just own it for a lifetime because it comes through your email. Even if you do that, you're gonna. I'll put these on the side now. So it's you're gonna be like owning it, and you could go over it and over it and over it again. So that's just for the very beginners. And the paint is Createx illustration colors, and this is transparent. And you can make it opaque by putting white in it. It will lighten it, but a lot of these colors, if you look at this one right here, when I made that color, I had to obviously study the color and figure out, you know, what is that? It's not white, right? What is that color? And you could kind of see a beigey, light beigey, maybe a little orange in it. And the Drew Blair color theory will target that color and zero in on it and help you find it, you know, exact. But if you want to just shoot from the hip, get basic color theory down, read online about what colors are to each other, and then start experimenting. Don't just spray right out of the bottle. So my first color is pre-mixed. All right, I'm going to use the littler reference picture right here, and we'll kind of just keep it off to the side because we're going for that spot. But I wouldn't know where that spot would be unless I had either a drawing or this is actually a photocopy black and white that would give me, you know, the placement of everything here. So what do we got here? 5x7. This should be a 5x7. I'll just carry that over further. Give me 1 second here. All right, so that's even a little bigger. That's right off of there. My black and white. All right, so let me get another black and white. I don't want to hurt myself by having something wrong right from the get-go. So it looks like I made a lot of copies, you know. It looks like it got cut off. No, it's there more. There it is. Okay, so that's good. So then I can just come over. I can cut this out later, this piece. But for now, I know it's to the left, and this is correct. So if I put this right here, then I can find my way to where this color lives, okay? So right now, I'm going to just tape that down with a little tape there. There's a lot of ways to do it. You could cut holes into the picture and put the tape over the hole, and then it will stick directly to. Let me do that. Let me just get my, what do you call it? Miniature mat, smaller mat. The whole desk is a mat, but this one here, my students in my old school used it for, they used it for their palettes and everything else. But, okay, so in cutting this out, this will protect. You could just go and open up little openings right here. This mat, the one on my desk, it's called an art tool mat. I don't recommend getting the ones from maybe Michael's. They're very, very bad on the blade. They're very, it's like a lighter green. My mat is a gray. You get it from Coast Airbrush, and it will not hurt the blade. It's very soft. You can sink into it. It's self-healing, at least for a number of years, I guess, unless your students use it for a palette, and you can still see that it is still working pretty good. Of course, the one up top is out of your view right now, So I'll just go over here. I'm going to open a big window here. It's just a simple, you know, simple way to put it on there. Open this one. Now, the guys that have the metal backing, they can use the magnets and stuff, which that's going to be in my not so near future, but it is something I want to do. Have the magnets to hold down the actual stencils. It's just easier. This is old school. Okay, that'll work. So I can take the picture now. That's the cutting mat. Again, that's Art Tool. Tilt this up here. See, the whole desk is Art Tool. Very, very nice and very, just a wonderful little mat that gets the job done. And then you just take your masking tape, pretty good stick on there, and you can just find the edge here. And that, wasting tape, right? I'll go a little smaller here. And again, that piece that's running off the picture right there, you can use a piece of tape actually to finish that off. But I have the opening too. The opening is to spray in. So I'll be recutting that one out later to have it as a, you know, for the opening of the, you know, the dark part of the mountain. So let's see. Oh, Scott was doing a fire snake to Bill's volcano. Lots of heat. I love it. Yeah, a hole punch. That's real good. You guys see, we get all kinds of little quick tips that help us all move along quicker. Okay, so that keeps going, and basically it goes downhill. So I could probably just go like that. Whoops, I'll get a little bit back on there. Line it up, go like that. And then just for the sake of protecting the rest of it, I just go like that. Okay, so that's on there. Now, where is the reference picture? Was on Unsplash, and I have the name of the person on each of my advertisements, so you don't have to worry about, you know, if you want to paint this same painting, you can, or you can, and it's royalty free. It's, you know, you could buy them a cup of coffee, or you could mention them on Facebook or whatever platform you're using. I mentioned him on Facebook and YouTube as far as my ads concerned. And if it's not on YouTube, I will add it. But I give the photographer the credit. And then if you really want to dive deep, you can pay Getty Images or even Unsplash. You can pay $7 a month, I think, for Unsplash to have access to better, even more photography that really is awesome. So it's right here. It's right there. I could put a little baby mark of where this is going to go, kind of there. And I can go further than I have to. I'm going to just go up into here. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. And we're going to try to zoom in. I'm not too good at that with the, I don't know how to do it with this. It just doesn't. How about that? You guys seasick yet? Okay. So we're going to just kind of leave it there. That's not too bad. But I got to find out how to use the zoom better. Okay, guys. So here we go. We've got, got a little piece of tape behind that maybe. Yeah, I'm just taping this down to the desk, and the magnets are a better option by far, but I don't have the metal backing, and I've been focusing on getting my eyes fixed so I can even do this, right? And that's been corrected. I got a good report today at the retina doctor. My retina is what it is. It's not going to get better, but so much more light has come in to my eyesight. And then my good eye got cataract. Both cataracts were taken out. And now I'm good for another 10,000 miles. I don't know. Just it's wonderful to, it's like, I, it's back. I'm back, with sight. I've been painting with such poor sight that I couldn't even put the needle into the airbrush body without two hands because it was I couldn't establish the peripheral thing because I have a retina problem, so that was all messed up. And now there's the airbrush I'm using. It's the Awada Icon CM SB side bottle, and I'm zoomed in right now, so you're going to get something like that. But anyway, I'm going to be painting. I'm going to move back the arm a little bit more just to get you guys to have a little more wiggle room there. Okay, so now we want, let's see, who do we got here? Roy, JC, Roy Johnson. Hello there, hello there, hello there. And I see my comments are staying here. That's wonderful. They didn't used to do that. We have Stuart from way across the pond. Gary Shees, Mr. Shees. All you guys. The famous Stephen Leahy. Oh my gosh, it's Steve Leahy. It's an honor to have him here. I did tag him, guys, just so you know. he was forced to pop on. No. Roy Johnson. And hopefully some of my California peeps will be on. And then the new people that I have no clue who's on here. Hello to you all. We got like 9 watching or something now. So let's get busy painting. I still have the test color in the gun. The last color I made was the mountain color, but it's not as black and brown. It's a black brown kind of. So the last color I made was that. But the last actual color I made was the reddish color there. So I have an orange color that'll go on top of the very first color, which is that. So I'm working from light to dark. So you can't go wrong when you do that, especially with pre-mixed colors. Everybody sooner or later will find out about the phenomenon called color shift, blue shift. It exists. You spray a light color over a dark color and you're going to see, especially in the warmer colors, flesh tones, you're going to see a blue shift, an ugly color. And there is ways to fix that, of course, but okay, so I'm just looking at my needle. I thought it was bent, but it's not. Just flushing a little water through it. Okay, so I put a little bit of a pencil mark, which I don't need anymore because this actually gets buried, the pencil mark. Now, if that was transparent and I drew dark, it would just, I just need a couple dots, kind of starting point of keeping it where it is. And again, I have some wiggle room. I know that there's a nice orange that's going to come out here. And so, but I can put the darker color on top of the lighter color. You'll even see it whispering out here a little bit. The lighter color is traveling up, but then those other colors start to make clouds and smoke on top of that. So let's get the light color put in the gun. Test the gun too, because the last color I sprayed was the horrible dark. That will ruin that color fast. So I'm going to test it on the side. Actually, it looks like I had the red in there last. I don't know how that happened, but because I thought I did the mountain color. Okay, I'm ready to go. I've got my pancake color here. I got my little lid, solo cups, and they have the little lids to keep them all from spilling and to store them. Okay, so here we are. Get us right in there, Bill. I hope you're in enough. I'm gonna, whoops, move it around. I'm not gonna play with the zoom though. So there's where I'm going, right there. You know, and you do want to kind of see the other part of the sky. Okay, that's the bottom of the painting. Here's our reference picture. We can put that right there because I'm going to paint that. So if I want to hold up the real one, there. Okay, so this is going to be a real short video. I'm finished. Thanks for looking. See you guys next week. I wish I could be. If I painted that fast, I would be a very wealthy man. Okay, so right there. Okay, here we go. And some of it I will be using, just using my eye to judge where it is. So I know I've got that white area coming off the side of the mountain. And here we go. We're going to go right around here. It's like painting a sunset, you know, in reality. Now this color can cover pencil. I'm just going to spray it on light first. And you'll see it cover the pencil. I mean, I still see the pencil right there. So don't forget to dry it too. Air on, dry that thing. And let me get my air volume. See how that is? Yeah, so that's the color. It looks wrong. It's going to look wrong. And if you take Drew's class, you will be so amazed at and Steve Leahy, I gotta say, he's talked about this too with the interaction of color and how we get so totally faked out that how could this be that, you know, because that has to be next to it and so on and so forth. Each color will give us the reality next to each color of what's really going on. I'm spraying it 100% and pencil lines are still showing, so I will definitely come back in and hit it again. And if there's any adjustments that have to be made, you have lighter colors that you could spray over it, but I'm trying to trust that what I mixed was the color. Let's see. Where's my... There it is. Okay, so let's just take the lid off this. Just to see how we can do with looking at it from... Oh, I shouldn't have taken the lid off. That makes me all covered with paint. Give me a second here. A little paper towel. Sticky. So let's put this up here, and then let's put that there. Okay. Now, that color, mine looks a little bit more but if you kind of look at it, that it starts to blend in. So you have to just hang in there. If this is lighter, then more white can go in that. But that was the first color I made, and I went around and round and round trying to figure it out. And that's what I came up with. So it's a very easy fix, though, if it's too dark or too much like a pancake color. Of course, it would help if I put more paint into the color cup. I need this airbrush refurbished. It's terrible. It's seals have to be switched out and whoops. So you couldn't? Wow. JC, you couldn't load the feed? I advertised on Facebook tonight to come over to my YouTube channel. And that's it. And even that started saying something to me. I was like, shut up, Facebook. Tired of it. All right. I'm wondering. Okay, that's why, guys. This photograph is more whiter. This photograph is a little bit more of the color I mixed. You can see the difference. So at this point, it's just the lighter area. If I want to go back in, I like actually that better because it allows this white to shoot out stronger, and it also has some of the oranges affecting it. So the next color that we're going to go with is the orangey color. So I'm trying to think of like painting a sunset, that kind of feeling. This is a pretty good orange. I think I made the orange like in 5 minutes. I think I made the other one in like a half hour. It takes patience, especially when you're like so close and then you try to put some color in it and you go too dark. So you want to get the value. And that's another thing beginners need to understand. The lightness and darkness of color is so important to understand. Otherwise, you're going to be, not getting it. That's all it comes down to. So now I have to blend this in. I'm spraying it pretty heavy on the right. Gun is about 7 or 8 inches away. Airbrush. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely the other color. So we're going to come off of here. This here, I'm just going to use a shield for a minute. Just to spare that spot a little bit. Because it's got clouds shooting off of it. It's got all kinds of cool stuff going on. So just to preserve that area, I'll just use the French curve, and I will just kind of come in here like this, and maybe go a little lower. Just keep me close, but not, because this orange can go down here. My trigger is sticking. Now it's not. So to get it working temporarily, I was putting a little cleaner in there. A little, what is it, 4011 or 4012? 4012 I was putting in there. Now, this true color will start showing up as I second coat it to this color here. So let's go back to the baby one down at the bottom. So you can at least see something, right? And this can run, that can go right over that one a little bit. This can run into the top underneath the red, so it's not going to matter. But I don't want to waste it too, because if I went to the trouble of mixing it, then I want to make sure I have enough. And I am going through it quickly. So now that starts to make more sense as far as visually. And laying colors next to colors. And it's still keeping the air on here. Wow. There we go. So I went like this. It's the seal. They're all old. 1990 something I got this. I'm not going to go up there with that. I'm going to come in over here. So now I can take the bigger one you're going to see reflections on the bigger one. And I'm just going to get a feel for where I should put this. Can put it there. And I'm going to bring that all the way over. It's going to be up in here. I'm just dusting it in like the brown is going to go right over that. So let's see. Where I'm going to kind of draw it in. I'm looking at the tip, and if you just kind of go straight right here, that should be enough to get me started to get the other shapes in. And now I can just kind of put that orange in. When you first spray it, like I said, it's not going to look, because it's got to be sprayed all the way out until it's covered 100%. Let me just take care of my trigger problem here. Yeah, this project was put together late last night. I think I sent the picture. I found the picture, and I sent it over to Walgreens like at 1:30 in the morning, because I was going to do another project, and everything wasn't working out because I had to go to the doctor today, the eye doctor. And so I was like, I didn't want to paint that other picture. I've painted it before, and I was like, I'm not into it. So I found this picture, and I was like, I could get into that. And so here it is. Now I want that orange to be really 100% over here. See it? Now it's getting more of what it should be. I'll just kind of run up here. Let's use a little straight edge here for this final white area right here. And then we could bust out there. Top of the mountain has this orange on it. So that's when you take the shield away. And I see it down here. It's really in a couple of places because the red looks nice on top of that color anyway. So I'm just going to kind of, I don't want to waste paint, but I'm going to have this kind of waiting. And so much for my little jimmy rig here on my airbrush. What are you working on, Michael? Facebook doesn't like us. Great, Michael. It will be a monumental piece. Yeah, it will be, because I don't think I'll do another one after this. Huh? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay. Okay, so let's get this going here. The fire on the mountain here coming down. Okay, so it cuts right through that lighter area right there. Does little beautiful things, little feather strokes. And then it meets up against the tornado right there. And I got to be careful in this area because it's going to actually, start to come out like right here. This actually isn't so straight. This is Blair synthetic paper. I've been using it a lot lately. It's I'm hooked on it. I can't get the same results on the clay board. Can't. Maybe later on, like you could do some things with the clay board. When I say later on, I'm talking about the next day, hours later with the Createx paint. But with Drew's paint and this paper, it's designed to work together. So I'm just using a soft eraser to kind of find the white areas. And it'll start breaking up in here a little bit. That's where white paint can come in. But let's just put a little bit of, let's see if I can break through there a little bit. Break it up a little bit, just a little. The white paint can do that for me because it's really not pure white like that. Okay, so it comes down the mountain a little bit on this side. And that's where an aggressive eraser could come in because it's like more, it's sharpened more, and I can come in and kind of follow it like I'm drawing the picture. So this is a more aggressive, kind of like the typewriter eraser to the beginners that are going to be watching. Okay, so there's that little white area. It does reappear over here, and I'm going to just kind of just make a little white line there. I'm erasing mostly on the stencil. Okay, so there's some, fire on top of the mountain. Okay, now let's push this up a little bit more that way and that way. Okay, now, let's see, whoops. Come on, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Really? I'm trying to hit the arrow for the comments to go up. Okay, you're working on a 54 Volkswagen bus. Oh, wow. That has a lot of signs in the painting also, vintage. Well, that ought to be a challenge. How are you going to handle the lettering? With brushwork, or? That's a lot of work there. Okay, so orange. Let's get some more orange in here. Yeah, I didn't make a lot of orange, but because it's a 5x7, we're going to be all right. So I can put it right here. Bring it right through here. That's all brown in there and red and stuff. And over here, and just far away, second coating it, making it, get to the strength that it was. Kind of a cloudy formation here. Where is that? Right in here, maybe? Hope I'm not blocking it too much. And you can make the sky your own. I mean, if you don't put the cloud exactly where it is, it's like a sunset. I don't know if a sunset was going on. It looks like it was when this, and I don't know what the volcano this is. There was no information on that. It was just, okay, I just got to make sure I've got my orange going still here. Right here, I got to come out into that shape a little bit more. Go up. And yeah, just tint it a little. This should be pretty much it as far as down here. And you can tweak a color too. You can push it, like adding a little yellow to this and spraying it like all around that area. Spray it, again, tinting it. Okay, so we've got that put in there. We've got the mountain being preserved, right? The actual volcano. So I want to just kind of pull that out. I don't want to damage the paper. So that's being preserved, which looks like a snow mountain with a sunset now, right? Okay, so let's see. What do I have now? I have my red. Now, things are going to start to look closer to that. So I'm going to back out a little bit. Not that much. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this Zoom thing is crazy. Maybe there's something, but maybe I'm not supposed to use my fingers. Maybe there's a, if anybody knows, let me know. It's ridiculous. All right, I'll go back to normal and I will just bring it in when I have to. Okay, so to who's ever watching, that's just nicely, maybe I see some likes here. That's wonderful. I see people popping in and off. We had 11, now we have 9. That's cool too. You know, not everybody has a lot of time for a live feed, and or they're busy and they're peeking in, and I do that. Or they are not interested after they see it. I don't know. Okay, so the top. This is the red. This red is darker. So when I get over here, I'm going to probably darken it by either spraying the brown in here on top of it a little bit, misting it. But let's first get this going. First pass, right? I'm just doing the very top first. Okay. Now I have to watch, I'm sorry. I have to watch it come down a little bit. Because I can't do the zoom on here, I have to just kind of have the thing in our way here. You thought it would be a short vid. Nope. It will be a short, maybe shorter than a 2-hour video because, you know, I want to make sure I do the mountain correctly. I want the paint, the window time on the drying time to play into, you know, I want it to dry at one point. Okay, so let's get this. Now this starts to come down, so I'm just gonna, here's the brown cloud, this area, I'll put a dot, okay? That's the brown cloud. So I'm going to work this red up off of that edge, like as if the brown was there, which I could put there, but I see a lot of this color is still hanging out. So instead of burying it, I'm gonna just kind of far away, and this still isn't 100%. This is more 100% now. And then I'm going to work down the edge a little bit in a circular, far away, distant kind of spraying. And you can go too fast, and all of a sudden you've got yourself too much red. It needs this down there. All right, so I'm going to use this red to find areas that are going to be brownish too. Like here's a brown area, right? Hold on, guys. My trigger. Okay, it's going to do that to me. So I just a little bit of that down at the bottom. Skip right here, crashing right into the mountain right there. And then it's going to get darker. Then it's going to get a lighter version of the same color. And then it's going to start climbing up right about here. Do a little feather stroke. And this guy here. Like I said, I'm trying to get close to them. I'm not trying to... I'm just trying to put them in where they are. The bottom of the brown is going to have a nice red outline of a fuzzy, out of focus red. Okay, so what else we got here? We've got the red over in this center area. Here's my white, so I can safely come off of there and work out this way, because it's going to start doing all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm kind of freehand etching it in, you know, paying attention to where I am. Second coating it, getting darker and darker as I go. Then I'm going to skip this area right here, and I'm going to start, hopefully I'm not blocking you, I'm sorry. I'm going to come in from the other angle. It's kind of like a tornado. What do they call it? A fire tornado. I'm just sketching right now. I'm not trying to be super detailed. Little details right there. Hard with the gun giving me trouble, but it's just the nature of the beast right now. Okay, so sketching away here. I see a little more orange. I could probably use this color to make that look a little more orangey right here. Just very, very carefully. Okay, I like the glow that's going on still. And this section, that section, and then that, and then it will go brown right there. Except it won't go brown. I'll get to the brown in a minute. It won't go brown unless I help it along. Using like a little pump stroke. And then this has a nice, right here. Okay. Whoops, flooding. Okay. I'm going to take my, let's see, how do I want to handle this? Tissue, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to take my fingerprint. I don't care. It's opaque paint. So that's a good lesson in itself, that damage with transparency would be a nightmare. But this color can only cover that up and make it go equally away without me pushing too hard on the trigger, flooding it, you know, causing a problem. Okay, I'm going to need some brown in a minute because, okay, so I'm right here and it seems like it has a little whisper like that. Far away, I'm just melting that. Sorry guys. Just melting that area a little bit. Meaning I'm kind of blending from a distance. Let's go back in here. Cover the damage. The color can't change because it's got white in it and it's just going to be itself. I got to spray that dry though because it's starting to build up again. And it's starting to look, I gotta air dry that. So I'm just gonna stay away from that area for right now. So let's see, we've got this mark, and we've got, I'll do this right. Time for the brown. I can't go any further with the red because I need markings of where I'm going. Fire NATO, yep. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, we hear enough about that from the horrible Los Angeles fires and many other places. Lahaina, Maui, Front Street there. I lived on a road called Front Street in New Jersey, Point Pleasant, but Front Street was demolished, incinerated, just like a lot of these houses out in Los Angeles are. They're just gone down to the foundation. Cars are melted. Trees are standing. That's not funny though. Something's not right. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to get the brown into the airbrush. And it's a blackish brown. I think I have a pretty, I wasn't trying to make it. I was going to paint the mountain very light actually. Um, leaving room for a little bit of three dimension. When you look at the picture, this photo, not this photograph, when you look at it online, and you could go to my page, I freed up the image so that, because I hide it when I first put it up there because I'm getting ready to do it, and it starts getting really confusing, like, what is going on? What do you, is that your painting? Now you can go on my page, you could find the painting, and you could find out the name of the guy, go on Unsplash, and practice this one. Do this if you want. You have you can sell it, you can own it. You can buy the guy coffee, or you can hire the guy. All kinds of different things that you can do. All right. I'm just giving myself a measurement of where I want that to be. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of come out a little bit with a line here. And then I can start getting the dark in. And as far as getting this red, I can just deepen that a little bit with the brown, but I also can fire some more red in. The other side is not as deep because whatever's going on the left rather, is really cool. What do I do here? Look at that. Damage. What the heck is that from? I don't get it. Maybe my color cup. These side bottles can get you in trouble. I think that was my color cup. But again, this color, they can be fixed. It's just that I'm not fixing it now. Okay. Then under this cloud, right about here, I started this little red mark. And I'm going to kind of use the micron to draw the shape. Of that. It goes in. It's going to connect. No, that's getting too close to that. So I got to go lower. And then there's a gap right here. And it starts to go up on an angle right there. And it gets real dark. Closing the gap a little too much there. Doesn't take much. If you aim wrong, you're going to get into a problem area. Edges are fuzzy, so I'm getting closer and tighten it. Yep, my color cup is damaging the painting because I'm trying to come in to help you guys see when I normally wouldn't be that angle. Okay, so that's why that's happening. So I've got to kind of work like that. Okay, so that's there. That's actually browner, it looks like, right at the top. All right, where do I want to do here? See, I don't want to just take like a color like this and start misting it over the bottom. That's a purplish, that looks like a bruise, that color. It's in the painting though. And for the dramaticness of this painting, you want to keep it what you see. So this basically is a little bit bigger right here. Something like that. This one's a little longer and a little bit more brown. It's actually not this color. Doesn't matter though. No, it is pretty much dark, but okay. So let us repair that area. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, just so you guys can see that. Brian Moore, hello there. Okay, so I'm going to just, like I said, I use the little solo cups or whatever brand this one is with the lids. That's my, my system of writing on it with, let me get that in focus. So, it's got white in there. It's called number 1. You got white, orange, red, black, yellow to make that color. So obviously black would be a speckle. Black, do I have black in there? Yeah, I do have black in there. Red, we're talking paintbrush, not drops. We're talking about moving the color around to get the color we want, not, So let me get this gun a little bit cleaned out and go after that damage from my side cup. Again, coming in on an angle. So next week I'll make sure I'm further out. I'll set up my, I was too busy mixing colors than getting this. Usually I pull the arm out, I pull the lamp out further and have the color correct lighting. This is called daylight. Steve Leahy yesterday was mentioning OT lights. I have 2 OT lights that are on stands. They're not over by this desk. And they are phenomenal. They cast a light onto your image. So you think you're seeing this, say, in regular lighting, and then you put it under this lighting, and you're going to be blown away. Not to mention the color will be correct, daylight, but you also are going to see lettering or tiny details in the image that will be not there under regular lighting. Just even white soft light, oh, forget it. So you got to have the right lighting. You can buy daylight, not full spectrum. You could buy, the ones over at the store like Lowe's and stuff. You can buy, color correct lighting, different brands that I think one's called, well, my lamp's called Daylight. Has a magnifier on it too. So I showed my studio if anybody wants to go on my Facebook page, William Snegan. I know it's not Bill because my page was hacked, so I had to go under William. But anyway, you could see I shared my studio pictures, about 10 pictures, and you can see the different things that I have hooked up. All right, so what do we want? We want to spray. Now, that's a warm color, a damage. I will move in closer. You can see the damage. See it right there? That is damage. I'll point to it with that. There and there. And a little bit over there. It's a long line. And it's not going to come off. I mean, there's going to be reds in there and stuff. So I'm going to just hit a little spot with this just to see if I can knock it back a little. And it is knocking back a little bit, so maybe I don't have to get out the repair cover. Yeah, a little bit. I don't want to make a white mark. But if I could get that burnish mark off there, maybe circles, little circles. All right, some of it came off, which is nice, but not all of it. Looks like it looks like pencil, actually. I don't know why. So I'm erasing the eraser onto clean paper so that it will not be a dirty eraser. And then I can get after that mark even more. So far I'm not seeing any white. Ah, there's my first little bit of white coming out. So I could do a broader stroke like that, because red's going to go there anyway, so I might not have to touch it up. Okay, so clean this up. Look at that overspray. That's a nice white there. And it goes right up. So you draw them with the pencil. And this Blair paper is phenomenal. I can make probably a dagger stroke by just pulling fast and furious. There we go. And now it goes this way. It's pretty big too. It goes way up here. Aggressive eraser is allowing me to erase out that pure white there. It even goes up higher. So let's take it there. That looks about right. And then let's take this and smooth that out that way and that way. There we go. And then this kind of just cuts off. It'll cut off and another color will come in on an angle. Here, the white. Bring it back. Okay, so let's do that here. Let's come down to about here. And I'm going to do little circular erasing. Of course, that's got a tint on it, but I'm just kind of finding the picture. Plus I like erasing. It's fun. Can do it another way. Now the eraser's getting dirty, so I go down to the paper, and now you can cut through there a little better. It's just showing me where to go with this. I'm also turning the eraser in my hand. And that just kind of goes up out of nowhere to put that in, and then there's one going this way. So that's going to get softened. And this is bright right here, real bright. That'll all get softened. That's that. Okay, so now, let's see, what do I want to do now? Getting paint on my picture. I've done this before, and I've gotten the paint off the fingerprints and what have you. Okay, so I see that yellow reappearing down here. Right here and right out here. I'm going to lighten that up more because there's all kinds of cool things going on that I kind of didn't allow for. These different shapes that are spinning. It's like a tornado. But this is too aggressive right now, so it's not good to do it with that. Okay, so we've got that. We've got this churning. I've got this other color. So I'm going to wake this up with a little It's a pencil eraser. It's a typewriter eraser. It's very aggressive. I'll try to hold it still here. It's gray. You can sharpen it in a sharpener, but that eats the pencil really quick. Or you can use an X-Acto knife and, you know, make it carved out. So this one is called Faber-Castell, and I need a bigger one to read the number on it. You can get them online, and I think Drew sells them too. This one here, let's see. I know I have brand new ones over in the other drawer, but right now, let's see. In my drawer here, I really want to give you the number on it because it's a great eraser. All right, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here we go. Okay. Faber-Castell. And you've got, hopefully that will, it's Germany. Perfection, looks like a 7058, and then there's a fancy B. So 7058B. And it's Faber-Castell with the gray aggressive eraser, and they come with this little sweeper brush on it, just to keep your fingers off your painting. I also have the bigger one in the drawer for, oh, I found the other pencil. For the bigger sweeping, you know. Okay, so yeah, I have about 3 big ones left. When I go to the art store up by Red Bank in my area, it's not my area, it's about an hour away, whatever. Or I go online. Okay, so all right, this is all hot in here. That's the red. That's going to be, the yellow is going to be, see this golden color here? It just, I'm going to get the large picture. It might reflect other lighting, but I want to show you if I can keep the lights out of it. Yeah, at the top you're going to see, but that's not the area I'm trying to show you. Nope, that's going to just get in the way. Hopefully that will be, I'm going to turn it off, that's all. You can still see it. Okay, so this color, which is that color, which is pretty much that color, and it's that color. This color will ride against that white edge, and then it just kind of, the top of the mountain glows with the same color, but it's broken up with highlights, erasing, and wonderful details of very thin, spaghetti-like, even like crazy stuff that goes on. Even over here, there's little, it looks like it goes that way. It looks like this picture was scratched, but it's not. It's actually in the photo. And then you have your all soft edges. And there's the very top of the mountain right there. And it is the color of the clouds. It's amazing. And it starts getting hot. That comes back down here. And then it goes right into the dark. And then there's a little bit of a separation between the rocks and the mountains that the smaller one can show you better. Sorry. And let's get that back on. Yeah, the smaller one will show you right there at the bottom. See, it's like another mountain range that's further away, closer to us, with some fire in the valley there, or smoke. So, and online, if you zoom in on this area, you can actually see some rock formations and things. So, let's see. Get the big one out of here. It will not lay nice at all. Whoops. Yeah, so I could take my red, which is right here, and I could fire some red into this color, deepening that. So I'll do that right now because I do believe it might even be hitting stronger. It looks like it's orange. It's crazy. But it's actually the color, I think. Where's my other notations here? I have little marks on here to tell me, except I didn't number them all. So you could see the red is darker. Um, yeah, it gets a lot darker over in the corner. So right now I have brown. Oh, no, I have water. So let me get the reddish color. What number is that? 3? Yeah, three is right here at the top. So okay, so I appreciate the likes. That's very lovely to see because that tells me that people like it, and it also tells YouTube that likes, subscribes, and that kind of stuff gets this video out to more people. Um, I'm sure, I think it works the same way with a live. I won't be just doing lives, though. I'll be doing um, uploads too. See that little glow there? And then it's going to come over here. Let's see if I can bury that. There's that first wave, and then it gets up here, coming off that. I have that too close. So I kind of sketched it in. Oops, guys, I gotta move that for you. Kind of sketched it in a little funky. I might touch that up and rework that for the next video or whatever. But anyway, I'm spraying on these shapes again. So it isn't just the solidness of the color, it's also the same color being used to make clouds and show shapes like that, that are the same color but darks and lights of the same color. Way too much air. Volume. Okay, so now we've got that. And then we've got misting going on right there. Tying the two shapes together a little bit. And what else? A little bit more whispering here. That. Outlining. Whoops. Might as well just kind of find this shape out here. Yes, I think breaking away from trying to do, as you call it, hyperrealism, uh, and I would say that I say that loosely for me because I'm into as much real. I'm studying photorealism. I haven't mastered it, so I am. Um, it's fun to break away and just do a looser style. If you can do the hardest stuff, like make a rock look like a rock, or you can make somebody believe that at least from a few feet away, your painting looks like it possibly could be photorealistic, then hooray, that's kind of what I'm shooting for. But a true photorealist would be somebody like Drew Blair. There's others, but I've never met anybody as far as in the airbrush world, that took it to the level that he's taken it to. So he's my go-to guy. That might be a little too fat there, but the nice thing about it, okay, I just went in there and I was trying to, from an angle, work that, to make it thin, and I kind of got too thick. So I'm just going to come from the light side where I was erasing and make the line really tight like that, where it does look thinner as it should be, tighter, and maybe even get rid of some of it because it's not even that far down like that. Okay, so I've got that little thing going on there. One of my pictures it's brighter, one of them it's okay. So where are we? We've got the mountain. This is a stencil from photocopy that is really holding on good here. Synthetic paper. That is very durable. Okay. Okay, so the opposite shape is this one. That would be right there and there. So while I have some of that yellow, what do I have in there now? I have the orange. Let me get rid of that. I hope I have it. Yeah, I still have that. So I'm going to let that fall. So now I'm going to start going on to the mountain and paying attention to what color the mountain is. At the top of the mountain, it's the same color as the sky. But it has a lot of erasing and little tiny details. Looks like it's on fire and it's really cool looking. Yeah, well, are you saying, Brian, for you, the realism style for you seems far away at this point? I don't know your work, so if you're doing more just kind of like we all start out, it's like we try to paint something and it comes out pretty cool looking, and it's what we were going for. I remember the first time I ever paid attention to more detail, and I painted a painting for my old boss of his tire company. And I painted the building, had lettering on it, Uniroyal lettering, tires, that kind of stuff. And I literally, my paint dried up here. So I have to mix that color up for next week. So that's pretty much gone. I mean, I might get a little bit of color. Let me see. Sometimes you can wake it up a little with the 40-20, is it 40-20? 21, 40-21, one or two drops. I'm going to take a brand new brush, meaning a clean one. And I'm going to stir that around and wake it up. And it is. So I said there was nothing in there. You could put the other, what is it? Transparent. Let me just get it. I don't use it that much. Transparent base will give me a little more body to it without color. So I'm going to put a drop in there. It's kind of like, it looks like something, like a shampoo almost, but it's clear. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a dry, clean brush, and I'm going to stir that base in there, giving it a little more paint and a little more thickness. I don't mind it being thinned out, but I'm going to put this color in, which I thought, I'm done. I don't have that color anymore. Because the little bit at the top of the mountain will definitely maybe not even need more than what I'm going to put on here. So this kind of just runs in. There's no distinction right here. So I'm going to use it at the top, the stencil, right at the top, to get the top piece which has got a shape that goes out into the white. But I have to make sure. But yeah, when I was painting my boss's, my old boss, because I wasn't working for him anymore, he just loved it, and I painted him a free one of his old building, and it was really cartoonish, and the lettering was bad and all that kind of stuff. But having said that, whoops, what color did I grab? That's not the color. Yes, it is. Let me just put a little on there. Okay, so it's showing the top of the mountain. Actually, it comes down a little further. Right. I'll just whisper it off the edge right there so I can erase into it. So the white's preserved, and then I'm going to come off that, and then just kind of, this is like just painting with transparency. Just put it in lightly. Now, sorry, this part disappears. They become the same color at one point because it is the same color. But I just want to put a little bit of that color to work with later. I'll let that dry. I keep hitting the phone. Sorry, guys, because right in front of me. You know, that's where it is, right there. And then I can go in. Let's just take. Let's see. I'll use the eraser just for this little edge here, and I can pull out a little. Nope, too aggressive. So we have to go to the X-Acto knife, and we have to use just the side of the blade, not the tip. And we have to just kind of find which way it wants to go. Got to have a new blade, but that's going to separate the two, and I won't do too much of that. There's going to be other. I'll let this dry, because that's when you can come in and put your little. Let's put one mark in right here, like that little skid mark. It's too fresh. See, at this point in the game, it wants to erase real easy. So you'd have to have the right tool to use. Skinnier. Okay, that's it for now. You can paint around those shapes. Something coming out here. Just make a little mark. That all can be cleaned up, just like this overspray can right here. Again. It's back and forth, right? Yeah, I can erase around that mountaintop. That'll show that up more. It's still rough edges. I got to soften everything, but that redefines where the white is here. And then you can go back in and do the dark. Once this dark goes in here, you're talking about nighttime. You're talking about deep, a feeling of you're playing with lighting now by using the right colors. So I'll get the project from last week. I mean, if you look at the snow at the bottom, it's dark. I mean, it's very dark. Look at that. But there's a little highlight hitting on there. This isn't finished. It's getting there, but it wasn't worth another video because it basically rinse and repeat at a certain point. Just a little tweaking here and there. But anyway, the snow is so dark, but it gives the nighttime feel. Because if you look out at night at the snow and you see, like, say the lamp is lighting up your snow, the lamp on your property, and then all of a sudden you see it fade out into darkness, maybe blue from the moonlight or whatever. Those kind of things are what you want to capture. Yeah, I mean, I started with oil painting, so that's quite a different thing. I'm going to take the red right out of the bottle, and I'm going to put a drop in my airbrush, drop or two, and I'm going to carefully mist over the top of the left side and give a little more red, real red, but it won't be red. It'll just give more hue to it right in that area because it is red, but it has a base. See, now I've got that. There's the color there. You can't see that color there though because it's just going kind of into a brown world. The same thing with this. I got to work on that. Yeah, so as we bring the brown up into the bottom, we're going to start seeing a very nice change. So let's see. PSI, color mixing. That's a valid point. I'm not ready to try realism. I am still trying to master control. Oh yeah. But have you painted with oils or acrylics? I mean, I started with pencil drawing, and I never even messed with color. And my father was an oil painter, and then I started taking oils and getting lessons in my area. My father helped me. He was really good with color. But it was in between Bob Ross and a little more realistic because I was controlling and looking at, little books that help you do your thing. So the bottom line was it was just my style coming out, you might say. Okay, so yeah, so I just put red on that, and I'm going to probably, there's going to be red in here, but it's not that red. Wait, is this the red? No. See, that's the red from the bottom. This is the red from from the bottle. Look at this. It looks like magenta, right? Now that's what I mean with the color theory. When we say, oh, well, I see red in the center of this image. I see red, and it is a red, but it isn't that red. So how would you get that red to go to that red? Well, you would definitely have to, you always got to put a little orange in your red so you don't go into pink. And then you got to start, that's a hard color to work with. And then you got to start pushing it with like maybe a little burnt umber, the opposite, maybe a little bit of green, the opposite, think of Christmas, red and green. And then you start graying it, and then it goes deeper, and then it starts going into a browner area. And that's what you want. You don't want, that. Let's see if we can get this airbrush to behave. You want to practice these strokes. It's hard. I have the desk right under my hand here that's making me, I can't do it here. You got to have high air pressure and that kind of a thing to practice. That's supposed to be palm tree. You won't tell anybody that. There's your dagger stroke there. I got to get it really moving to get it happening. And then there's your feather stroke. The feather stroke is what you're going to use mostly. It's the dagger stroke, but it's soft. It starts out wide. And then this doesn't have any whatchamacallit in it to make it flow better. So let me try that. So let's take this, flip it around. You want to do your dots like that, tiny. Then you want to do your lines. Don't worry about them being straight. I'm sitting down. When you get going with the t-shirt style, you lock your elbows in and you can go, Then you want to do further away lines, which is really a foggy look. Then you want to do your point, you want to get your dagger stroke down like that. And then you want to learn to do soft ones, so that you can get in and say I had to shave that. It's like I want to get in there, shade off of that, and make that look like a fatter stroke. And then I want to blur that out a little bit and stay with it and taper off. So you're trying to paint, you know, like that could be an eye, you know, that kind of stuff. Just doing the strokes, not trying to make a painting here. Then you can practice micro airbrushing, try to write your name small, just for practice. You know, that kind of stuff. But it's the dots and then the blending, like going over past 1, past 2, past 3, uniform. Then say you're going to get darker, don't come down as far, you know. Pass over that again, and each one just don't come down as far, and you're going to have gradation and that kind of stuff. So you want to get the soft stuff going, you know. Practice donuts and all that kind of stuff. That's the old t-shirt things that can really help you with your, you know, skills. But okay, we've gone over an hour and a half, so I'll save the other part for the detailing and the brown and the smoke coming up and this tornado thing here, and for next week. Okay, so I'll pull it. Whoops, I'll pull it away from the dirty background so we can see it kind of nicer right there. That still looks horrible, but you get the point. It's nicer when it's freed up. There it is. I got some problems I got to work on, but you watch it come together. When it's in the rough stages, it's, you know, I wish I got to, I mean, I did get to rent videos and stuff. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope that people that watch this later will, you know, really get something out of it, hopefully. I mean, I'm not showing, I'm telling you to understand color, but I'm telling you if you want to master color, if you want to master it and get your colors close to on target, purchase Drew Blair's, you know, color theory in a box. Get it. It's a one-time investment. You own it, and he's in your house with you, telling you over and over again about things you need to know that are scientifically mind-blowing. And it's that kind of like, what was the name of the guy, Steve? Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Joseph, you know, the book you were talking about, the interaction of color. What's his last name? But anyway, I have the book up on the shelf. I could look at that myself. So let me see. Albers. Joseph Albers. That book is in line. That's what, you know, Drew is breaking things down even further because he's using the airbrush. It's got an airbrush color wheel. His color wheel is, when you buy his kit, you get 5 color wheels. They're airbrush. They're printed out perfectly, and they will steer you from a dark, you know, darkest color wheel, which is where you'll find your dark browns and burnt umbers, and then you've got your pastel color wheel, and you've got everything in between, and the 5 color wheels. Yeah, Joseph Albers, and that's what you need to know. If you don't have color down, I think you're really gonna struggle. Because you're going to get better at your skills of moving that airbrush. But then you're going to be like, well, what do I do with color? You know, how do I make my painting become believable? Even if you don't want to go, hold on a second, even if you don't want to go to the level of, you know, super realism. You could go, I'm looking for a painting of mine, something. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's my style back in the day. You're only going to see part of it. I'll slide it in here. It's in a frame. It's that kind of, oops, what do you call it? Bob Ross style. totally. It is Bob Ross style. And that's not how I painted landscapes back in the day. Okay, that was a fun class to take, and big brushes, and it was fun. It was like knockout stuff, You could just knock out the paintings with these big brushes, sweeping, double loaded brushes here, and then softly going over this thing and the blendings and all that kind of stuff. But then I moved in, of course, to my own style, which was, this kind of stuff, which is basically trying to get as close to the photograph as I can. Whoops. And I've got work to do on this. I mean, obviously, I'm getting there. Look, my black is good. Look at that color on the end. Wow, that's a match. But like my wife said, you got to clean this up in here. She's an artist too. And some overspray dirtied things up. That yellow could be a little kick butt better. And that's what happens as you're painting. As you're painting, the things start going into overspray and you got to control it. You got to control underspray where it goes under your stencil and overspray. But this is my taste now to do these kind of things because that's what I love. It takes a lot longer, and there are ways to paint flames like Mike LaValle has painted with transparents and all these. He can knock stuff out freehand fast. He's mixing while he's going, So there you can paint flames and stuff. One of my next projects is going to be a match, a stick match, that you strike and the flames coming off of it. And I have that waiting for me over at Walgreens. But anyway, guys, this is the project for tonight. That was just a painting that I'm working on, trying to tweak it. So thanks for hanging with me. I will see you guys, as long as everything's good, next Tuesday on YouTube. YouTube, not Facebook. I'll advertise on Facebook. Oh, thank you so much, Brian. That's another nice thing. I mean, I know there's all kinds of levels, like you say, you're just learning and all. Oh, Bobby, hello. Sorry, I was like, hey, that's all right. You can watch. You can watch this, at your own free time. But yeah, the compliments, whether you're a novice, whether you're super just grabbed an airbrush yesterday, that's what we're all here for. These lessons right now, they're free. I'm not teaching you how to mix colors. I'm not teaching you the deeper stuff because I've I'm doing this free, and so I'm just showing you, this is how I put stuff together. But there's a science behind it, and that's why I try to get everybody to try to get Drew's class. If it's not for you, it won't hurt you. It will only help you because you can back off from his level of realism, but you'll be really good at matching colors. And then if you want to take it another level, you could go get How to Paint the Tiger. He'll actually have stencils and everything made of Mylar, a kind of like a frosted Mylar. I think it's even it's got a solvent-proof kind of thing going on. You just read it on his website, and it's this stuff. It's these kind of things, the stencils. They're wonderful. It's like a milky white, but they're durable. They can be used for so many things. He has a how to paint a splash, and you actually use this in part of the splash. It's like, wow, where are those circles? He knows where they were, and I've got this. Maybe you can see it better with the dark behind it. So you've got all the little star bursts and stuff. They're already done for you. So if that was to go around one of the starbursts, you would just spray where the little piece that's whole. But that's how durable these are. Those things aren't going anywhere. And you got circles. Then you have texture like this that you can spray through. Again, putting that behind there, you get all that texture. And it goes on and on and on. This is called the it's 5 different skin textures. But when Drew makes these things on his laser cutter or printer, whatever it is, laser, you can see that the intricacy of his photorealism goes into every little detail of his stencils, so that you get eyebrows. You also get the outer curves. You got organic edges here. That edge is rough. This edge is smoother. You got microscopic uh, lines, and then just you can, and this doesn't have to be just for skin. You could find texture out of this and use it for all kinds of stuff. So it goes on and on and on. One more stencil. This is the hair stencil. Okay, so like when you're, I'll just use the orange behind you. Say you wanted to paint a strand of hair. You just pull this little part, you pull that apart and spray in that little gap. I'll pull it apart wider so you can see it. But you could make it a hair. You can't even do that with the airbrush. And you spray that, and you get the curves and all the different shapes to make them go in different directions, like that. Or like that, say whiskers on a cat. There you go. You spray through it. So the stencils are there. You can get texture. You can get the eye. There's a little eyebrow again. And I've used this stencil for grass on the foreground in a foreshortened, you got depth of field. And some of the grass up front was showing to be very in focus. The edge, look at the edge of that. Forget this, that's a skin texture. But look at what he gives you, the extras with the edges that you might need. That could be a little bottom mountain range for a landscape. I'm talking about a small painting, you know. But he has all these stencils in different sizes. So when you start getting into the bigger stuff, like this is a fur stencil. And then this is all kinds of wonderful. Now I have the same stencil smaller, and you've got all kinds of shapes that are there. He even has you got to go on his thing and just look at his store. I'll show you one more right here. This is like if you're doing a pair of jeans or something. You got the texture. You got to be creative knowing the roundness and stuff. But yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's one more in here. I didn't even remember this one. This one's crazy. This reminds me more like Gerald Mendez. He has the FX stencils, but look at that. That's really cool to add. And it's not, you don't want to spray through these stencils and make it go like, oh, you used a stencil. You want to hide the stencil. You want to make it melt into the picture. So there's wonderful things that you can get to help you on your journey. Thanks for hanging with me tonight. And as always, take care of yourself. Be safe out there. God bless you guys. And thanks again for just hanging with me for an hour and a half or two. Okay, good night. If you didn't subscribe, whoever looks at this later and you want to follow me, just hit the subscription thing. And if you did like the video, sometimes people will watch a video and they really liked it, but they don't let the artist know. You didn't pay a dime. I'm not charging anything right now. If I make money from YouTube and down the road, that will be nice to build my channel. But my goal was to do it to keep me in the race. I'm at home. I'm my wife's caregiver right now, and I'm trying to stay in the race. That meaning stay in the game, even without an income from it or something. I'm staying in the game to keep my hand in it. And look what YouTube and Facebook causes me to do. Practice my color theory. Practice my thing, painting for you guys. So have a good night. And I'm going to go watch a movie with my wife, and maybe I'll eat 2 pieces of popcorn. Who knows? I might break my my fast here and and have 2 popcorns. Okay, good night, guys. God bless. Bye. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen. I call you Steve, but it says Stephen. Thank you. Coming from you. Oh, the master. Uh, what an honor. Thank you. Okay, buddy, and everybody else. Good night. Yeah, I could do that. I gotta get in the groove. I'm just retired, and I'm gonna be trying to get paid to be a caregiver. I'm my wife's caregiver, free or not. I'm her caregiver officially, but they're trying to hook me up through the insurance to get a small income. So that will be good. And then when I get that established, look out. Maybe I can get me the airbrush I want, and some of those kits from Drew, and then look out because I got some new eyes. I got my eyes fixed. So I'm in a second. Uh, I'm in the second wave of my journey. I'm 70 years old, and I've got eyesight again, and so I feel like I'm getting another chance to stay in it. And for you younger guys, appreciate everything. If you're healthy, appreciate everything you have because man, it starts breaking down. Right? I mean, I sit down on the steps and try to get up. It's like, what? I don't weigh nothing. I'm about 150. I can't, my legs don't work anymore. All right, I'm gonna go. Good night.